Helsa, and welcome to Journey Through Midgard with Goði Beast. That's me. We're going to do this episode on the Havamal, where I'm going to go through and read the first section, which is stanzas 1 through 79, which is commonly known as the guests section. They comprise a set of rules of how to act and how to behave, the manners and relationships that are between hosts and guests, and the sacred lore of reciprocity and hospitality to the Norse pagans. Let's begin. Before you enter a place, take a moment and look around. You never know who or what is waiting inside. A guest has arrived. Where will they sit? Will you put them near the fire? They must prove themselves before gaining a better seat. The guest needs a fire to warm their cold knees. Someone who has traveled across the mountains needs food and fresh clothing. They also need a drink of fresh water and a towel to dry off with. Be a good host. Offer them a chance to tell their story or to sit quietly and warm themselves. To travel the world, you have to be smart. It's different than being at home where they all know you. Speak out of turn in the world and they will find you out fast. The smart person doesn't brag about how smart they are. When you keep your own counsel, there's little chance of trouble starting. A person wouldn't find a better friend than their own mind. A smart person comes to the meal quietly, listening to those around them, keeping their thoughts to themselves. Praise offered to those who deserve it. It's difficult to know what's in another person's thoughts. Earning your own praise is always better than following the advice of someone else who might not have your best interests in mind. While traveling, wisdom will always serve you better than money in an unknown land. You can have no better company on your journey than wisdom, and no worse burden than alcohol. Alcohol's not always your friend. The more you drink, the less you know. A heron named Oblivious flies over the parties of men to still their wits. I myself was chained to this bird when I was in Gunnlaug's yard. I was drunk out of my mind at Fjallar's home when he threw his party. Drink in moderation. You should always be able to sober up quickly. A king's children should be tight-lipped and prudent. Everyone should be joyous and generous until the hour of their death. A coward may think they will live forever if they avoid war, but old age will give them no peace, even if war does. A fool will gawk when they come to a new house, and they may try to stay quiet, but once they get a few drinks in them, then their true thoughts are displayed for everyone to see. Someone who has wandered the world, if they are smart, can tell what others are thinking. You don't need to refrain from drinking as long as you can handle your liquor. No one will think less of you if you know your limits and leave the party early. A dumb, greedy person will eat of their own detriment. Wiser ones will often make fun of them for their huge bellies. The herd of cattle know when to go home and leave the rest of the field for tomorrow. A fool never knows when enough is enough. A miserable person will laugh and sneer at everything without realizing their own faults. A fool lies awake all night worrying about all their problems. When morning comes, they're dead tired and none of their worries have been helped. A fool thinks everyone who smiles at them is their friend. They can't see that the wise are making fun of them. A foolish person thinks everyone is their friend, but when they need someone to speak up for them, they'll find no one wants to. A fool thinks they know everything there is to know, but can't answer the simplest questions when put to the test. A fool should stay quiet in public. It's best to let everyone assume they know nothing than to open their mouth and remove all doubt. A person may think they are wise because they know the right questions to ask, but their ignorance comes out among those who really know what they're talking about. Someone who never shuts up just blabbers nonsense. The tongue that never stops often brings its own harm. Don't ridicule a guest. People often think they are wise when no one questions them. The wise one will go away when the guests make fun of each other. Those who take part in the teasing do not really know what's at stake while they chatter with monsters. Many people start off behaving nicely with each other when they first meet, but will act like a jerk during a meal. There will always be disputes among people when a guest plays pranks on another guest. Eat before you visit friends. You don't want to sit and starve or devour everything in sight. It takes longer to get to an enemy's house than it does a friend's, regardless of where they live. A guest shouldn't overstay their welcome. When you spend too much time on a friend's couch, love quickly turns to loathing. Your home is always better than someone else's because it's yours. It may be small and not as elegant as others, but it's your home, and it beats begging on the street corner. Your home is your hall. You would feel ashamed to have to beg for your food. Don't leave your home without your weapons. You never know when you'll need them. No one is rich enough that he would turn down a free meal or scorn a gift freely given. Don't put too much value in the physical things that you have. All too often, your goods are given to someone who doesn't want or need them instead of the loved ones they were intended for. Friends should give each other nice gifts and good weapons. Those who share stay the best of friends in goods of times. Be true to your friends. Give gifts when they give them to you. Laugh at their jokes, smile and be happy with them. But when the one who lies to you, they are not your friend. Stay loyal to your friends. Be friendly to their friends too. But do not make friends with their enemies. If you have a good friend that you trust and can rely on always, visit them often, trade gifts, and talk honestly with them. If there's a person that you mistrust but you want him to treat you well, speak nice words and keep your bad thoughts to yourself. Pay back lying with lies. Here's more advice about the one you don't trust. Laugh when they laugh. Let your words be a sham and give back gift for gift. When I was young, I would travel alone and often lose my way. I felt extremely rich when I made a friend. No one is happy by themselves. The generous and bold live lives of lives and are seldom worried by much. But the fool sees monsters everywhere, while the Scrooge grudgingly gives gifts. Just for fun, I stripped off all my clothes and put them on a pair of poles in a field. The poles looked like real heroes while I stood there shivering, looking like a fool. A pine tree standing alone on a hill dies quickly. Neither its bark nor its needles are going to save it. It's the same with all people. Those who have no friends don't last long. For 5 days, a friendship will burn hot between false friends. After that, it fizzles out and dies. Stanza 52 is my favorite myself. A kind word need not cost much. The price of praise can be cheap. I've made more than one friend with half a loaf of bread and a cup of stew. 53. Small seas have small amounts of sand, just as small-minded men have small amounts of wisdom. Not all are created equal when it comes to brains. Know as much as you need, don't try to know more. The ones who know many things, but not all things, are the people who live tranquil lives. Knowing more than you need to know leads to unhappiness. Moderately wise a person should be. Don't wish for too much wisdom. If you can't see far into the future, you can live free from care. Just as kindling kindles kindling and burns until it's gone, people talking to each other gives a chance to learn and grow wiser, while sitting alone only teaches you nonsense. The early bird catches the worm. A sleeping wolf will not get the kill, nor can a warrior win while laying down. Get up early and get things done. Lying in bed doesn't get the chores done. The effort put into life is half of the reward. A smart person should know how much wood is needed for the roof, and firewood is needed for the winter. Be sure to eat before you go out in public. Be washed and groomed. Even if your clothes and car are not the finest, you'll not be ridiculed if you look the best. The eagle flies over the sea looking for fish, but seldom finding them. Same goes for someone who comes to a party with no friends. A secret is only a secret if nobody knows. Telling one person is fine. Telling 2 people is dumb. Telling 3 people is a fine way to make sure everybody knows. Be careful in how much you boast. Someone who boasts among the other people will soon find out that they are not the strongest. The words you utter to someone else often come back to haunt you. Many times I've come to a friend's house uninvited, only to find all the beer gone, or not yet brewed. Uninvited guests do not find feasts waiting for them. I was treated well in the homes where I did not make a pig of myself. I knew the boundaries of the host and did not eat more than my share. For humans, the best things in life are a fire, the sun, good health, and a blameless life. Even in bad health, we have things to be happy for. Good children, good friends, plenty of money, work well done. It is better to live than to give up and die. If you're alive, you can hope for things and make it better. A wealthy man sits by the fire, while a dead man lays outside his door. A legless person can ride a horse. A handless person can still drive a herd. A deaf person can still swing a sword. It's better to be crippled than dead. Dead people do no deeds. Even if they are born on the day you die, it's better to have children than to not. You don't see many memorial stones for people who had no family. Two things in life can cause trouble: the words you say and the fists hidden in people's pockets. The one who's made enough friends finds the night a joy. A good meal makes the night enjoyable. Ships' cabins are cramped. In the fall, the weather can change drastically in a week, even more so in a month. The fool doesn't realize that money makes fools of men. One is rich, one is poor. There's no blame in that. Cattle die, family members die, we are all mortal, but your good reputation lives long after you do. Cattle die, family members die, you yourself will one day die. I know that one thing will never die is a dead person's reputation. I saw Fitjung's fields heavy with crops. Then I saw his children begging on the corner. Don't trust in wealth. It can prove to be a fickle friend. A fool feels much better when they get the attention of the opposite sex or a large chunk of money. Their ego swells, unlike their intelligence. A smart person who studies the runes and the words of the wise is advised to not waste words. Praise the day at nightfall, a woman when she's dead, a sword that's been proven in battle, a maiden once she's married, ice you've successfully crossed, and ale you've drunk. Cut trees when the wind blows and sail when the weather is nice. Talk to maidens in the dark when other people aren't watching. Ask a ship for good speed, ask your shield to protect you, ask your sword to be sharp, and ask the maidens for kisses. Drink your ale by the bonfire, skate on the ice when it's thick, buy good horses and swords that have proven themselves in battle. Feed the horses in the stables and the dogs in your home. This is the beginning part of the Havamal. Stay tuned for the next section, where we go through stanzas 84 to 110, dealing with the general topic of romantic love and the character of women. Should be fun.